What's up, everybody? I'm Dear Gamer. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're back, and today we're diving into some more Monster Hunter World in anticipation and preparation for Monster Hunter Wilds. So today we learned a lot of information. We saw the trailer on the official website of Monster Hunter Wilds. It shared that you can use 2 weapons of your choosing. Originally, I thought that you're only gonna be able to use like a melee weapon and a ranged weapon. But no, you can use whatever weapon you want. So I already started thinking like, what are the builds gonna look like? The build possibilities are gonna be absolutely endless, because you're gonna have to make a build for your main weapon and a build for your secondary weapon, your off weapon, whatever you want to call it. So today we're gonna be looking at all the current weapons we have available to us and essentially identifying which weapon is gonna be my secondary weapon and which one makes the most sense to use. And if you notice, I got my glasses on, so we're Professor Smooth today. Classes in session. So my fans, without further ado, let's dive in. So what we know so far, we know that every weapon is going to have a focus skill, because that's what they said on the website as well. And with that being said, that means that if you looked at the video on the trailer, for the most part, it looked like, I would say 65% is going to be the same when it comes to the weapon. So I can anticipate having my overhead slash, phase slash, this slash, foresight, IS slash. I'm going to have all of these. These are all staple longsword moves. But the focus moves, I don't know what they're going to do, because longsword is already a counter-based weapon. So what kind of power or skills are they going to give us when it comes to focus mode? So my mind's already going crazy thinking about that. I'm super excited. I know you guys are excited. I'm excited. I know you guys are excited. But now identifying which weapon is going to be the weapon that we use next. So now we have a lot of weapons available to us. A lot of weapons. Let's just go down the category of weapons available to you. So it's so funny that this happened, because as you guys realize, I spent like the first half of this year and last year kind of going through beating fatales with all the weapons to like master them. If you haven't seen those videos, go watch them. They're on the channel. I got tons of Monster Hunter content. But now it looks like, as I'm going through a list, so longsword, medium-sized attack, good damage, great damage, counter-based weapon. Greatsword's a heavy attack. So now you got to think about it as a lot of things. Well, how am I gonna break the categories of weapons that it makes sense to use with my main weapon? If my main weapon is my DPS, I have to use another weapon that gives me some other kind of advantage, or else it's like pointless. So it's either gonna be range I get from that secondary weapon. Is it gonna be a status effect I get from the secondary weapon, like a buff or something, like, you know, like hunting horn, buff yourself up to switch back? Or is it elemental benefit I'm gonna get by using that weapon? So those are the kind of things you want to start thinking about when it comes to, well, what kind of weapon do I want to use next? Because it's important to start now, because we have around 8-9 months till the game comes out, which gives you plenty of time to start getting really proficient with that secondary weapon. Because what I said earlier in the video, your weapon is gonna have 65% of the same moveset from the base, from world weapon. Then they're gonna increase it, add some stuff in wilds. Yes, we know that. But the more familiar you are with the weapon now, the easier the transition is gonna be when you go into using both of your weapons. So, greatsword. What kind of advantages do I get from greatsword? Greatsword is a heavy DPS weapon. Does it really make sense for status buildup? No, because it hits too slow. Status and elemental works better on faster weapon. Greatsword is just a raw, overall big damage weapon. No stuns. It has a counter now. So I kind of feel like if I want to have two DPS weapons, it's the range. I don't really have that much of an advantage by using a longsword and greatsword. So I feel like longsword and greatsword are just be fun to just have 2 big juicy weapons. But I feel like greatsword might not be the best for longsword. Sword and shield. Same thing. I don't really gain anything from it, because it's just like longsword. It's a medium-sized weapon, medium range weapon, good damage, not necessarily defensive. I guess you could use as support. It hits kind of fast. I can put my statuses on it, but I wouldn't necessarily call it like a true support. So status of application weapon. Dual blades, on the other hand, I can see I have my longsword. doing my big damage. Dual blade, I can use this to put them to sleep or use paralysis or poison. But I wouldn't necessarily use it for element because element with dual blades is the actual damage. So it wouldn't make sense. Because unless I see an elemental weakness, I want to break that. But then I want to use my longsword just to do overall damage. Doesn't really, not that compatible. Hammer. This is the same thing as greatsword. This is the same thing as greatsword, same thing as longsword. Really good, strong main weapon, primary weapon. I wouldn't call it a good secondary offhand. Sure, you can stagger the monsters, knock their head off, but once you stagger them and you knock them over, you might as well continue doing your damage with your hammer. So it doesn't necessarily make sense, in my opinion, to use two hammer and longsword. But this is all speculation. They could add some other effects. We're just going off of what we know from Monster Hunter World knowledge. We don't know what kind of attributes or what changes they're gonna make to these weapons that will make them better suited as a primary or a secondary. Just based off today's knowledge, wouldn't make too much sense. But who knows? In the game when it comes out, they might do some crazy things and make greatsword a amazing stagger weapon, or I don't know, elemental weapon, or part breaking. Who knows? We'll see what happens when it comes out. Now we're starting to get to it. Hunting horn. Hunting horn can actually be a fantastic weapon, because how many times do you love when a hunting horn player comes into your party? You absolutely love it because they give you the juicy buffs, juicy buffs. What if you can hop off, put the hunting horn out, buff the hell out of yourself, hop back on your mount, pull the longsword out, now you're super buffed. I feel like hunting horn might be one of the best solutions to come out to as a if you want to be a longsword maxi, if you want to be a main DPS maxi and just focus on just getting really strong and good with your main weapon, then I think this might be a good best solution, because you don't have to learn another weapon. You just put it on, buff yourself, go back to your main weapon, and just keep smacking with your main weapon. So I feel like hunting horn might be the best solution. I'm sorry, I'm still got a little under the weather, but I'm so inspired by this solution that I might even go back to what I was doing earlier by beating fatales with all the weapons and continue with hunting horn, because I only done 2 hunts in my entire life with this weapon. So I think it might be really good for me to learn and master this weapon, as it will be very beneficial, because sometimes I like to be a maxi and have that maxi longsword playstyle. But we'll see. Lance is a good one. Lance is a good one for I guess earlier when I was talking about attributes that the secondary weapon can give you, I forgot one. Defensive, because you can have status, you can have elemental, and buffs and status. So in this situation, defensive, this situation, you can use a lance if in case you need to turtle up a little bit. Things are getting wild. The Huns got away from you. You got 2 feints already. Now you got to secure the W, and you don't want to feint, or your team's depending on you to be a tank in that moment. Oh my God, I forgot about that. I'm just thinking about solo play. What about team dynamic? Having all these weapons, swapping them out, which one's gonna be best for team dynamic? Yo, that's a whole separate video. I didn't even think about that till right now. Damn. Anyways, if I'm playing by myself and I want to turtle up because of the fact that things are getting hot, I can put lance on, get my defense out, and do some damage and secure the W. Just stay in the pocket with my shield, poke, and I'm good. Man, I forgot about team dynamics. Well, we'll see how that goes as well. Gun lance, same thing as lance. Defensive, good offensive damage. I think those are 2 defensive weapons you can use to support your playstyle. For switch axe, I'll put this in the same category as longsword, greatsword. So you already know how I feel about those weapons. Charge blade, defensive, offensive. This is a good main weapon. I feel like for charge blade, if you want to use this as your main primary weapon, you probably want something faster or support your elemental. Like this charge blade with dual blades might be a good combination. Increase your speed, also increase your ability to add elements or statuses to your weapon, to your monster, and continue to carnage with your charge blade. Insect Glaive, I don't know. This was an interesting one. If I want like some aerial attack, possibility. I feel instant glaive hits pretty fast, so maybe it's pretty good for status application. Yeah, I'll say that. I don't know. You guys comment below. How would you guys utilize insect glaive in your as your secondary weapon if you're going to use like a main DPS for like your first weapon? Light bow gun. This is gonna be the pick. I'm calling it right now. 92% of people are gonna pick light bow gun because one, it gives you range, shoot from a distance. You can, if something pops off, you scare a little bit. Monster doing his ultimate attack, jump on your mount, pull out your light bow gun, pop, 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 pop from a distance, run away, pop, 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 until things cool off. Then you can get off and continue on as well. Light bow gun is one of the weapons I did not use when it came to my Monster Hunter, beating every monster, beating fatalities, every weapon. So this is one I'm gonna go back to as well, in addition to hunting horn. So I just feel light bow gun is gonna be the pick for people. Putting the monster to sleep, your status, everything you can think of, elemental status, except for defense. I feel light bow gun is gonna be the one. Heavy bow gun is gonna be strong as a main weapon, to be honest. You're gonna use heavy bow gun. Heavy bow gun is your main weapon. Heavy bow gun is a closer weapon, medium to close. So it's not necessarily range. It's more like a melee weapon, honestly. So I can see you using that as your primary, and offense secondary. You might want to, I don't know. If I was using heavy bow gun, I'm on the secondary. I would want, I already have range. Maybe, I don't know, light bow gun. I don't know, maybe buffs. Yeah, maybe buffs. Maybe defensive lance, possibly, because I'm gonna be overexposed by using heavy bow gun. So maybe some defensive properties would be good. That's how I kind of see that one. I don't know. Comment below. Let me know what you guys thought. This is a discussion video, so feel free to share your thoughts as well. Last weapon, bow. I don't care what anybody says. This is a melee weapon. Bow is a melee weapon. You got to be close up to get them juicy criticals. So I can see this being an elemental. Mix this with dual blades. Mix this with longsword if you want to get some offset. I don't know. It's kind of the same thing. Longsword and this one's kind of close range. Maybe defensive. Maybe more status with dual blades. Maybe some defense with lance to protect yourself a little bit when things get a little hot. But that's kind of how I would see the current weapons we have available to us at the moment, and the direction I will go forward and as we get closer and closer to the release of Monster Hunter Wilds. So right now my top picks are going to be light bow gun and hunting horn. Make too much sense for me. The synergy just makes way too much sense. If I want to be a longsword maxi, yes, here. If I want to alternate and do some bang bang pow pow and some slash slash, then I'll use the light bow gun. But this is where we're at right now. We're early, meaning gives you some time to get in the lab right now. Start practicing the weapons you want to use, because like I said earlier, 65% I'm comfortable saying of the moveset is going to be the same. So might as well get proficient with it earlier on, so you can do something, so you can feel really, really comfortable moving into the next game. But ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you're new, make sure you subscribe, comment if you like the video. We want some more stuff like this as well. Comment below. We got plenty of time for the game to come out, so we can speculate, have a good time, and just chat about all the things we think and feel when it comes to Monster Hunter Wilds. Till next time, dear gamers, signing out.